Hi, Davey here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a mini explosion book. It consists of various parts. The first is an outer cube that has a lid. You open it up and out explodes 4 different panels onto which you can write a message or collage something. And then there's a middle box which also explodes. It has a little lid, and you've got places to collage or write a message. And then an interior, or the smallest cube, which opens, and it has 5 locations for collages. So I'm going to show you how to make each one of the squares or cubes and the lids. You need a variety of tools to make the book. A ruler that has a metal edge, an X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, a bone folder for scoring, although I like to use an embossing tool to score, a couple of different sizes of brushes, a pencil with an eraser, and some kind of wet glue. I like to use PVA, but you could use Mod Podge or Elmer's glue, Yes glue, and then you need a jar for water so your brushes don't get stiff and unusable. So here are the paper sizes to make each one of the cubes. The smallest one should be a square that is made from 45 to 75 pound weight paper. It has pattern and color on both sides, so it should be a square that's 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. We'll be cutting out these bits later, but to start with, you need a square. That's the smallest one. And then the medium-sized cube, or the middle cube, should be 6 inches by 6 inches square. And then the large cube is made from a 6 3/8 by 6 3/8 piece of paper. Pattern or color on both sides, 45 to 75, could be 80 pound weight paper too. And then the lids, each cube will have a lid that fits over it. For the small cube, the lid is made from a 2 5/8 inch square, so 2 5/8 inches by 2 5/8 inches. And then the medium cube gets a lid that's made from 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 square piece of paper. And then the largest cube will be covered with a piece of paper that will cut and fold, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. So we're going to start by cutting the smallest cube, and that is the one that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square. And we're going to divide it into 3 equal sections vertically and 3 equal sections horizontally. So I'm going to take my ruler out, and I'm going to mark at 1 3/4 from the left-hand side. Just put a little tick mark right there. Actually, I think I'll use my mat here because it's nicely marked off. And I'm going to use my pencil and just go ahead and draw a vertical line. And I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up on my mat here. Okay, and now I'm going to do it horizontally. It's a little hard to see on my pattern paper, but I've got 2 vertical lines and then 2 horizontal lines. And now I need to cut away each one of these corners. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and my ruler, and I'm going to cut down. I'm going to do the vertical lines first. I'll cut down to the horizontal line. I'm going to use the metal edge so I don't wreck my the plastic side of the ruler. Okay, now I'm going to do it on this side as well. And then I'm going to do the horizontal cuts so I can remove these little squares. So I've cut out the cross shape, and now I need to score all the way around. So I'm going to take my ruler, and you can use a bone folder, but as mentioned, I like to use the an embossing tool. So I'm just going to do that all the way around so that these sides of the cube will fold easily for me. I can fold these in towards the center. And then we'll move on to cutting the medium-sized cube. Next, we're going to cut the middle-sized cube, the medium-sized cube. We already did the smaller one. Now we're going to do the middle one. And it is 6 by 6. So we'll be drawing a line at 2 inches and 4 inches, and then turning it and doing lines again at 2 and at 4. So you've got 9 equal sections. The largest cube is 6 3/8 by 6 3/8. So that means that we're going to be drawing lines at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8. So I'll go ahead and put little tick marks here at every 2/8 of an inch. And once again, I'll use my ruler to create 2 vertical lines and then 2 horizontal lines. And then as before with the other 2 cubes, we'll cut out each one of these corner sections. So I start at the top and I go to the line that I drew. And then down at the bottom, and so forth. And now I'm going to score all the way around. We've cut out the 3 different components of the explosion box, and now we're going to attach them to each other. So my paper is directional, so I'm going to make sure that the paper reads properly. It's in the right direction. And if you want to embellish your cubes, it's easier to do it before you attach all the pieces together. So if that's something that you want to do, I would do it now before attaching the different size cubes to each other. So what I'm going to do is put some glue here on the back bottom of the cube. I have a little bit much there, so I think I'm going to put it here. Oops. Okay, so I'm putting some glue on the back bottom of the cube, and then I'm going to try to center it in the larger cube. Trying to get equidistance on all sides. Okay, and then here on the back of the smallest cube, let's see, making sure that the paper is positioned because it is directional. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to center it above in the medium, in the medium-sized cube. Ta-da! And now we're ready to make the lids. We're going to be making 3 different size lids to go on top of each one of the cubes. So let's start with the smallest one, and it is made out of double-sided paper that's 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. It's a square, and you'll need your ruler, pencil, and a pair of scissors. I like to use these small scissors for this part. So what I'm going to do is measure 3/8 of an inch on all the sides, all the way around. And I am just going to go ahead and use my bone folder instead of drawing a line. So I want to come in 3/8 of an inch, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to draw at 3/8 of an inch all the way around the top piece. The top lid, I should say. And I want this to be on top, so I'm going to turn this over. Oh, they're both the same. Is that one better? I think I like this better. So then I'm going to fold in at that 3/8 of an inch that I just scored. Let's do that all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to cut in at that 3/8 of an inch. So I have a little tab here, and also on the left-hand side at 3/8 of an inch. It's a little hard for me to see because my paper is very patterned. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around, and here on the other end, I'm going to do the same thing at 3/8 of an inch in, and then in. Okay, and then I'm going to fold those little tabs in. Sorry for my barking dog. He's protecting us from the evil UPS man. Okay, and I'm folding in so I know how to glue it after I've done the fold. So that's going to be my lid, and I'll use my PVA to glue the tabs in. Ta-da! So moving on to the medium-sized lid, which is 2 7/8 inch square, I'm going to measure in again 3/8 of an inch. So I love this see-through ruler. You could, if you don't have a see-through ruler, you can just put tick marks at 3/8 of an inch all the way around, and then score. Or if you're uncomfortable scoring without a pencil line, you can draw the pencil line in first. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to score all the way around at 3/8 of an inch. And then I'll proceed as I did with the smallest lid. On to the largest lid, which is 3 by 3 inches square, and I'll be doing the same thing, measuring 3/8 of an inch in, folding it, and then gluing the tabs to create the lid. So you've made all the cubes ready to receive their lids, and I'd like to start on one side and kind of push in the flaps. And take my medium-sized lid, bring in the medium-sized flaps of the cube, snuggle those flaps underneath the lid, and then the final lid encloses all 3 of the cubes. So voila! Thank you for joining me in making this explosion cube, and I hope you have fun making lots of them for fun and enjoyment.